And then numbers 11 through 20. '21 through 30. Okay, where were we? 20 to 30? 31 to 40. And then from 40 to the end. 40 to, I think it's 55. 40 to, all right. Okay, and now we need you to count off. So I gotta make sure everybody's in line correctly. All right, so 1, 3, come on. Hey, who's number 3? Oh no, I'm sorry, number 3 is Pete the rider. Pete the rider is going to be number 3. Annette, pay attention. Annette. 10.
16, 17.
Where's 18? 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 3. 24. 6. 28. 36, 37, 38, 40, 43, 45, come on, 47. Okay, now listen, what we're doing this year is that the signers, rather than having individual readers for each signer, if somebody's going to read the name of the state, Georgia, and then they're going to ring the bell, and then Button, Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, George Washington. So if you would like to read and you did not get a part, go toward the end of the line and smile nicely at one of those folks who has a colony and say, "Can I read one of your names?" Okay? Because I don't want anybody to feel left out. If you want to read, please do that. All right. So I think, are we ready? Yes. Come on up. All right, so thank you all for joining us for the 21st annual reading of the document that marked the birth of our nation, the Declaration of Independence. For many years in many communities in America, it was customary on the 4th of July to gather at a public reading of the Declaration. But that tradition stopped sometime before living memory here in Freehold. The suggestion to revive it came from our friend, the late Sam Sagotsky, who believed, as I think all of us here have also come to believe, how important it is to hear these words spoken aloud on this day. Sam's son, daughter-in-law, grandchildren, and great-grand. Do we have 3 generations of the Sagotskis here? Is that correct? Right there. So we were very blessed to have Sam for so many years in this town, and we're very blessed to have his family join us here every year. So our leader for the reading is Nolan Higgins, our Mayor Emeritus, who today is taking the role of our town's most prominent citizen of the Revolutionary War era, Dr. Nathaniel Scudder, the only member of the Continental Congress to die in combat during the American Revolution. Dr. Scudder was born here in Monmouth Courthouse, as Freehold was then known, educated at Princeton, and lived right next door here, right where Rita's is. That was his house, right there. He was among the earliest and most ardent leaders of the Patriot cause, giving up his medical practice to fight for independence from Great Britain, serving as a colonel in the New Jersey militia, a delegate in the newly formed New Jersey legislature, and a member of the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, where he was a signer of the Articles of Confederation. On October 17, 1781, word reached Dr. Scudder here at that house that loyalist raiders from Sandy Hook had taken 6 prisoners from Colt's Neck, and he set off with a group of men from here after them. They met at Black's Point on the Shrewsbury River in what is now Rumson. He was shot and killed in a skirmish there. He's buried at Old Tennant, right by the church, so if you ever want to go and thank him, he would appreciate it. 3 days later, after he was killed, the British surrendered at Yorktown. He's a remarkable connection between our town and the history of our country. So this is how it works. A dispatch rider, Peter Zaleski, will ride from Philadelphia to deliver the document to Dr. Scudder, who will start the reading. The other readers, all of you, will then proceed to the microphone to read their lines and then step down. We will all then, that's why if you don't have a copy, you should get a copy from the box here. We will all then read the final stirring paragraph together, led by Dr. Scudder. The names of the signers of the Declaration. So then, the folks there, you are going to come up. If you have, North Carolina, say, you're going to say North Carolina, and then you're going to say the names of the signers. If you have a group of people, you will take turns saying the names. When you say the name of the colony, we're going to ring the bell. Excuse me. And then, and then after the last of you, after Connecticut is the last, we're going to ring the bell 37 more times and read the names of the states as they join the Union. So you can watch our nation grow from 1776 into today. Then our police, are they here? Police, fire, EMS leaders will raise the flag. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we will sing the national anthem, and then we can all go home and do what generations of Americans have tried to do ever since, to try to fulfill the promise of these words. So, I got to call the dispatch rider. Call Pete Zaleski. They didn't have to do this back then. Call Pete Zaleski. He is not available. Would one of you give him the signal? Somebody give him the signal. One of you guys give him. You gotta get Pete. He's not answering. He's down there. He's coming from the direction of Philadelphia. It is a long trip. Is he coming? There we go. I hear the horses now.
In Congress, July 4, 1776.
Color Guard, American Legion, Post 54. I apologize. At attention, please.
In Congress, July 4, 1776. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes.
And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object evinces, designed to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for them for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and it is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government.
The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He had refused his absent to the laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public of the good.
He has forbidden his governor to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them.
He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the only right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies as places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the dispository of their public records, but the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures.
He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his measures on the rights, his invasion on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers.
He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures.
He is affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
For procuring them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trade with all parts of the world.
For imposing taxes on us without our consent. For depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury.
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute law unto these colonies.
For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government.
For suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns,
and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty, perfidy scarcely paralleled the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation.
He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
He has created domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us.
We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here.
We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity.
We must, therefore, acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them, as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Georgia, Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, George Walton.
North Carolina, William Hooper.
Joseph Hughes.
John Penn.
South Carolina,
Edward Rutledge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lynch Jr., Arthur Middleton.
Massachusetts.
John Hancock,
Samuel Adams.
John Adams,
Robert Treat Payne.
Elbridge Gerry.
Maryland,
Samuel Chase, William Haka, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
Virginia.
George Wythe,
Richard Henry Lee.
Thomas Jefferson,
Benjamin Harrison.
Thomas Nelson Jr.,
Francis Lightfoot Lee.
Carter Braxton.
Pennsylvania, Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Clymer.
James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, George Ross.
Delaware.
Caesar Rodney,
George Reed.
Thomas McKean.
New York, William Floyd, Philip Livingston,
Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris.
New Jersey, Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon.
Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, Abraham Clark.
New Hampshire.
Josiah Bartlett, William Whipple, Matthew Thornton.
Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins.
William Hillary.
Connecticut. Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, William Williams, Oliver Wolcott.
Vermont, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, Mississippi, Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, Arkansas, Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, California, Minnesota, Oregon, Kansas, West Virginia, Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, Hawaii. The American flag will be raised by our chief and members of the Freehold Police Department. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our soloist? No, we don't have a soloist. Well, all right, our soloist is in Oklahoma this year, sadly. I am not going to lead you in the national anthem. So if you want to just all join, and I'm going to step way back from the mic, and somebody who can sing, start. Oh, say what? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, what ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets crackling, the bombs bursting in air, gained proof through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of God brave. And thank you, Steve Gallo. Didn't know you could sing. That concludes our service. American Legion Post 54 Color Guard. So I want to that's all we do. And we're going to do this again next. That was our 21st year. Next year will be 22. It will be 250 years. So I don't know what we're going to be doing next year, but we're going to do something. We're going to do a variation of this. So I have to thank a bunch of people here. Steve Gallo, our administrator, American Legion Post 54 Color Guard. Pete Selesky, who wrote all the way from Philadelphia with that document. We had a signer, a descendant of the signer, Joseph Hughes, here today. Joseph Hughes, raise your hand, from North Carolina, as well as the Sadowskis. Jeff Friedman for doing all the sound. Thank you, Jeff. Chief Colonier in the police department. The street department for closing off the street, making us safe here today. And who am I forgetting? And Nolan Higgins. There's an additional event today, unrelated to this. It's an Honor Your Veterans flag banner placing here. 5 veterans in the town are going to be there. And I'm going to have Dan Xavier come up and just say what's going to happen later this morning. Okay? But otherwise, I will see you all here at 9 o'clock next July 4th. And this is 21 years, and it has never rained.
Thank you for coming out today. As Mr. Coyne mentioned, the Borough of Freehold's Veteran Recognition Sign Program is actually going to start today with our first 5 inductees. At 10:15, Mr. Charles Butkus served in the Marine Corps. His ceremony will be at Douglas Road and Broadway at 10:15. Then Mr. Russell Taylor, who served honorably in the U.S. Navy. His ceremony will be at Lincoln Place and Kiowa Avenue. That's at 10:45. At 11:15, Mr. Robert Doan, who served honorably in the U.S. Navy. His ceremony at 11:15 will be at Cottage Place.
102 years old.
Who is 102 years old. Who served from December 14th, 1942 to November 30th, 1945. His location will be at Cottage Place in Hull at 11:15. At 11:45, William Bill Madden, U.S. Navy. He will be at Vredenburg Avenue and South Street. That's at 11:45. And there will also be one more, which will be doing a small ceremony, but we'll be doing a bigger one when he's able to attend. That's Mr. Ed Daly, U.S. Army. He will be at Park Avenue and West Main Street at 12:15. So that'll be a more brief one, and we'll do a more fitting ceremony when he's available, back from vacation. Thank you.
Thank you all, and have a happy 4th. Thank you.